Better live from New York. Saturday night. There's Sunday evening in Japan.
Bobby, that's writing like you look like Spenguli.
Yeah, I guess so. Lighting's a little messy today. I just got out of work.
You just got off work.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to put some shit together. I didn't want to be late,
I hear you. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. What you guys been up to?
Oh, this and that.
Yeah. Buying any audio equipment? How many receivers do you have? How many guitars?
Just the one. I did come across a Sansui Decade D707 up at the local merchandise mart. Yeah. But now I'm also discovering there's a ton of them, so I haven't pulled the trigger on it. But I will. Eventually. Got my Luxman.
Luxmans are great things. Oh, that's new. What's that? Harmony?
It's a Recording King.
Oh.
Mickey Ward. Allegedly from the 1930s. Lap steel pickup on it. The back is actually flame maple. So real low output pickup, but it sounds good. So yeah, I was in a guitar store yesterday and saw that, and the price was reasonable. And I just like, oh god damn, I gotta get that, I guess. It sounds good, So yeah, I've been buying more guitar stuff than audio stuff. But still buying stuff. I just haven't been doing a whole lot on my channel. I've been struggling a bunch over the last year and a half with this heart condition. So
yeah,
it's just trying to keep busy, and I basically I've been like, when I can work, I work, and I was feeling better for a while in the spring and early summer, and then midsummer even. And then they took me off of medication, and I regret it. So they put me back on the medication, and I haven't gotten back. So I just didn't like it. I got good days or good hours and bad hours, more or less. So it's this condition that causes inflammation of part of the heart. In my case, part of the heart. Largely the lower left ventricle and the wall between the left and right chambers.
Is surgery an option?
No, it's an autoimmune disorder that causes inflammation.
So there's nothing you can do but take pills and stuff.
Medications. Yeah, I'm on immunosuppressants. So
which in turn end up screwing you up in other ways, right?
Yeah. So I'd had success with prednisone, but they wanted to get me off that because
you can't stay on it too long. Yeah,
can't stay on it too long, and I went off, and all the symptoms came back. So
that prednisone is a miracle drug for inflammation.
Yeah, and that's what the issue is, just inflammation. It showed up for me initially as fatigue and premature ventricular contractions. My heart wasn't beating right, and so I had. They eventually went around about with that. I went in. I had an angioplasty and a stent placement because trying to eat like a bluesman. I a lot of barbecue. That ain't so good for you. But I had a stent angioplasty and stent, and the premature ventricular contractions just shot up. And eventually that led to the diagnosis of this condition, cardiac sarcoidosis, which I'd never heard before they sent me the diagnosis.
No, I haven't heard of it either.
I'd never heard of it at all. And a lot of people tell them what it is, and they're like, what? Like, yeah. Fortunately, the Mayo Clinic in Rochester is one of the probably the best clinic in the nation. Japan may have better treatment for cardiac sarcoidosis because it's more common in Japan. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure why, but they know that it takes two things to have it. It takes some genetic predisposition and some environmental trigger. They did genetic testing of me. They couldn't identify the genetic predisposition. It wasn't one they knew about, and can't figure out the environmental trigger. So it's like, oh, yeah, gee. But it just happens, you know.
And also they gave you all those freaking tests, you know, that end up to tell you nothing. You get poked and prodded, and then they say, "Sorry, we don't know."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had, I don't know how many PET scans, CT scans, MRIs, you know. It's like, you know, I'm like, well, this is, I've been in, you know, I was in for some November, and they were like, well, we're going to be doing this with this. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. PET scan is cool because I go in and they come in with, they inject you with a radioactive tracer, you know, and they can bring it in this lead container.
Yeah.
And then they open the lead container, and the syringe itself, not the needle, but the syringe itself, is lead. Or lead lined, yeah, or lead covered. So it's like, you know, open it up, you know, shoot it in the, you know, you put an IV in it. So, but yeah, so that's you know, frankly, on the bad days, you know, or bad times, I just can't focus.
Sounds like you're going through it.
Yeah.
That
Well,
sucks.
yeah. I'm hopeful that you know, some things change. I'm going to have go in February for a placement of decide whether I need an ICD and an implantable cardiac defibrillator, because one of the things this condition can do is it disrupts electrical conduction in the heart, and it can just suddenly disrupt the wrong nerves, you know.
I've had some people with bad experiences that have those fuckers in.
Yeah. So it disrupt the wrong things, and you go into AFib, atrial fibrillation, or you can just stop. You know? So they call it sudden cardiac death, and it's like, if you ain't near a defibrillator, I tell you, you might as well just leave the cardiac out, because it's just sudden death.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's been sort of me just doing that stuff, and, you know, buying some records and stuff. And I thought in addition to, you know, pointing out, I do want to say we're supposed to reveal truths, terrible, shocking truths. We
will. Yeah. We will tell the truth, but sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, and the truth will hurt people's feelings.
Yes.
You know?
It's hard for people to hear the truth. Yeah, I know. You can't handle the truth.
Well, no, that's why people get so pissed off about it, and they get like appalled about it, because, I mean, yeah, it's the truth. We'll spend all the time, you know, trying to deny it, trying to do these little things to make it sound like, you know, we'll reveal it tonight. We'll reveal it.
Yeah. Trying to say thanks to our first commenter there, Black Quicksand Music.
Yes.
So, hey there, Black Quicksand Music. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, other than, you know, for me finding something else to do on YouTube, which would be fair enough. I obviously, and if anybody wants to join, let me know. Send me some email. I'll let anybody on. I you know, I ain't into gatekeeping. Anybody wants to hop on, and let me know. I'll send out an invitation. Hell,
yeah, I mean, but isn't it crazy that we've able to stay in touch through all this time, though? We have. I mean, we shoot each other texts every once in a while.
Yeah. What about you guys, Bobby? You see nose to the grindstone? Is that it?
Well, no, it's you know, doing like a lot of work and stuff. I haven't been, you know, I mean, I'm always collecting records, and you're always finding stuff. But as you know, like the price of records, that, you know, it's just getting a bit ridiculous, because stuff like the $40 records, the audiophile stuff that used to be $40 is now up in like $55. So it's, I don't want to. I've gotten rid of some of my stuff that's like, I just don't, you know, it's not freaking worth it to have. But, you know, you pick up little things here and there, you know, that you still find, you explore new stuff. You know, what type of music have you guys been listening to? I mean, I got a few records and stuff.
This is my first information about Mr. Icefield Records. This is shocking truth. that will be revealed. Michael doesn't actually buy records.
That's not true.
He goes to record stores and he looks at records.
I do.
He looks at records,
and
but he never actually buys them. That is, and we have hours of video showing him going to record store after record store, looking at these records that any sane person would jump on to buy, and he puts them back in the bin. So I submit. That is
well. To Mike's credit, there have been times where you see an album, you're like, oh, I want to get this album. You see, shit, I have passed that album by so many freaking times, and you didn't even know what it was. You know what I mean? But yet, a year later, you're searching for the fucking same thing.
Are you telling me that one should restrain oneself? I object.
I object too, but you can't tell me that you haven't passed by a record that it happens.
I have, and I have, and so many times I sit around and think about. It's less about records, although I pass them up. I think about guitars I didn't buy.
Yeah.
I think about guitars I didn't buy, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I'd bought that guitar. That's why I bought that one yesterday. It's like I shouldn't buy this guitar, but I'm like, man, I ain't never going to find another one of those.
Yeah, but it's like that with everything. I mean, it's like the same thing with girls. You don't regret the ones you did. You regret the ones that you didn't. It's just like that with everything.
I regret some of the ones I did. You bet. It's like a Wanted Man by Bob Dylan. Johnny Cash. I've had all that I've wanted of a lot of things I've had, and a lot more than I needed is some things that turned out bad.
No, you roll like Frank Sinatra. A few regrets, but not really many. You know what I mean? Hey, has anyone seen the Bob Dylan movie?
I've not.
I did a review of it.
You did? Was it good?
Yes, it's. I gave it. I don't like the 5-star system because I'm too picky. I want a 10-star system.
But what would you give it out of 1 to 10?
9.
Oh, so it was that good?
It was very, very good. Very well done. It isn't historically 100% accurate by any means.
No, of course not.
But Timothy Chalamet does a very, very good job as Dylan. An outstanding job as Dylan. I think you come away thinking, or I came away thinking, he did a great job singing like Dylan, and Dylan is a much better singer. Of course, I think Dylan is a great singer. I know that there are people who disagree with me. Unfortunately, they have bad taste. But Timothy Chalamet does a good job. I think it reveals how what a powerful singer Dylan was. The Pete Seeger, played by Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Amazing. Watch him, and it's just Pete Seeger, man.
Any other musicians that were portrayed besides? Because I know Pete Seeger and Joan Baez.
Joan Baez. Joan Baez. Monica Barbero plays Joan Baez.
Yeah.
She did a great job. I don't think inhabits the character quite as well. I think she gets a lot of the mannerisms. She doesn't sing like Joan Baez, but Joan Baez drives me crazy with her singing. Too much vibrato all the time.
Yeah, I have one or two records of her, but I mean, it's not for me. I'm not going to knock her, but she's just, not for me.
Yeah.
Did they recreate the Highway 61 recording session when they opted to do the recording? Huh?
Al Cooper comes in. Yeah. They got who played Al Cooper? Shoot.
Was it a bit part, or did he have much of a development?
It's a fairly small part.
That's a guy that I've learned to like, because at first I really didn't like Al Cooper, but until you turned me on, Mike, you turned me on to him, and I started listening to some of his stuff is fucking good. You know what I mean? It is. And he's not mentioned when you talk about a lot of you can't pin him down. He's not really folk. He's not really, you know what I mean? He's like everything, but he's not mentioned in that era as one of the greats, and he probably should be.
Yeah. No, I mean, the truth is, he's an excellent guitarist.
Yeah.
But he was right. He went in the studio, and Mike Bloomfield was there, and Michael Bloomfield was there, and he said, I'm not as good a guitarist as Michael Bloomfield." At that time, among white guitarists, I don't know who was as good as Bloomfield.
No.
I mean, you could say maybe somebody like Glenn Campbell was at that time, or Ray Clark, in a much different style. They were incredible musicians, incredible guitarists. There's no doubt. Tommy Tedesco and the Wrecking Crew was an incredible guitarist, but and he played like in every style. But Bloomfield, you want something like what Dylan was looking for. Hard to find play better than Bloomfield.
Right. You guys heard about Sam Moore, right?
Oh yeah. He died this week. And that actually, if anybody wants to talk about records instead of just harassing Michael, which
yes,
is.
A few. I've got a couple.
You've had a few?
I purchased them.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to mention one.
Yeah.
That I kept meaning to do a video about because it's timely now, and that is David. Can we see this? David Lynch. Cellophane Memories, right? Cellophane Memories.
That's another one that just recently passed too.
David Lynch died this week. One of my favorite filmmakers.
Really?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I love Lynch. He was brilliant. I think the Coen brothers, David Lynch and Jim Jarmusch, for the period from the 80s, 90s to 2000s. Those are those have been the great. I think the great American film.
The Coen brothers, they did Miller's Crossing, right?
They did Miller's Crossing. It's just a great freaking movie.
I love that movie. That is one of my favorites, especially John Turturro's character.
Oh God. Oh man, they're all great. Oh,
yeah.
All great. I love the Coen brothers, and I think they're the greatest American movie makers ever, American filmmakers ever. But man, David Lynch did some great stuff.
Did you guys see the new Nosferatu?
No. Not here yet. None of these movies are here yet. It's going to take
Really?
takes like a year. Yeah, it takes a while. Only like major Hollywood stuff, like
You're familiar with the original though, with Max Schreck, right?
Nosferatu.
Yeah. It was like a silent film.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. How did you like that?
A lot of sex. But that's what it's like kind of about. But yeah, go ahead. What were you talking about? Like the record you were getting ready to show something?
Oh well, this Cellophane Memories is a weird album. Not my typical sort of thing, but layered vocals and noise, and you can't understand the vocals a lot.
Who's the artist?
And David Lynch and Christabel. So it's a David Lynch LP.
They
David Lynch.
sing on it? What does he do?
He plays guitar. He wrote, produced.
Is it any good?
I think it's great. It's strange. Just think of it as a soundtrack to one of his stranger movies.
Oh, so is it like a new release or?
Yeah, it's 2020, August 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a relatively new release, but it got pushed to me on YouTube, and because I love David Lynch, one of the songs got pushed to me, and I love David Lynch, so I was like, well, I'll listen to it. I didn't have real high hopes for it. I thought it might just be a complete vanity project. But I think it's a great LP. I was listening to it again today and just thinking, in time for live stream, I'm thinking about it and thinking that was it was just great.
It's not blues. It's avant-garde. And you never struck me as somebody being into avant-garde, Dan.
No, it isn't. I have to thank Michael for this.
Yes, and I didn't buy the record. I didn't even buy it.
Yeah, well, but that's because you don't actually buy records.
No.
We've established that. That's beyond doubt.
I'm on a fixed budget.
I had to have this given that cover. You know, that is an awesome cover, and not improved as far as I can tell over the years. I mean, nothing was added to it.
The artist captured her nipples quite well.
Surprisingly well, yeah. And I looked her up, and I need to get some more stuff by her. She's a great vocalist, and she was incredibly popular. She was like the first million record seller for Capitol. And then she went away. And then she just got ignored. So this is a great, you know, and it's like $10. You know, I got it off Discogs for like $10. And so it's like, or maybe $20. I don't know, $10, $20. It's freaking great. So it's I loved it. But that's here's one. This is not
the audience numbers.
one.
I would grab like anything and just listen to it at least once, you know, to see what people were thinking, you know, because a lot of that stuff is popular. Was popular back then. Yeah.
This is Dick Hyman. This is Richard Heyman. I just grabbed this. This just happened to be out, and I grabbed it. I just love the cover on that. That's a photo. So so that's a photo. It's not all that good, but it's fun, and I listen to it from time to time.
My classmate was Dick Hyman's son.
Yeah,
David Hyman.
Really?
This is one I'm pretty sure Bobby liked. Got this fairly recently.
Oh, Clyde McPhatter, of course.
yeah. That's there's a sad story there in some ways, but what a great voice. I mean, one of those guys like, man, voice as good as anybody, right? It's just a great voice. I don't know. I don't know that Sam Cooke maybe was better.
They're different though. They're different. Yeah. Their voices are different. Like they're like, okay, what the hell's his freaking name? Like Johnny Hartman. He has a very like deep voice, and like Sam Cooke's more like tenor. Everyone has different like voices, so it's like I really can't say that Sam Cooke's better than McPhatter, but they're different, you know.
That's why I like maybe you can, but
yeah, maybe
the lightness and all. Yeah. But McPhatter was just great, and just
yeah.
There's so many of those people out there. They were great and they did great stuff, and now they're gone. Here's another one by somebody that just disappeared.
Jumpin' Gene Simmons.
Jumpin' Gene Simmons. You know one of the songs.
What's that?
Just moved in a new house today. Things started happening right away. Bells started ringing and changing loud. Knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Yeah, he was. This haunted house was a big hit when around where I grew up in southeast Missouri, which was near his stomping grounds in Mississippi. So, but he had great stuff there. He does a great version of "You Can Have Her," which is a great song. Johnny Rivers covered it. Roy Hamilton did the first release of it, and Roy Hamilton, black artist. One of those times when the white artists came along, and I think did a better job than the black artists. Just as Bobby Hatfield did a better job of Unchained Melody than Roy Hamilton did. Bobby Hatfield's Unchained Melody is amazing. So. And then these are just some I picked. I've got others, but they're kind of. This is an interesting one. Jake Xerxes Fussell or Fussell when he comes. Michael, check out that cover illustration.
His head is backwards on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are found texts, as he calls them. He finds various texts, and then he also takes music and builds music in a folk. It sounds like folk music, but it's not. I mean, some of the stuff is related to it, but
does it like on the countryside?
Yeah, he plays there. You'll hear him on he's on YouTube playing Telecaster. He'll play a Telecaster and just sing. And he's got a really nice baritone. He's a good vocalist, but it's very interesting and it just sounds great. And the found texts are interesting. It was kind of an interesting experiment. So,
wow, you're really finding some obscure stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten some obscure stuff, and then another one that's here it is. Another one that's kind of obscure. Carsey Blanton after the Revolution. Carsey Blanton she's an out and out freaking Marxist. She's a good commie, and I kind of like her. She is pretty much like let's line the rich up.
Kill him.
Yeah, she's I wasn't going to say that, but she's pretty much she wouldn't actually do that, but she's pretty close. But it's good stuff. She's got a great voice. She's it's kind of rock and rolly, it's Americana. But I've realized, I buy American music. That's what I do. I listen to American music. I buy, I watch American movies. I was thinking about my favorite movie makers. I'm like, oh yeah, they're all American, ain't they? I don't.
You never watched any of that like Japanese, like those kung fu movies and shit? Those are good.
Oh man, I have to say Toshiro Mifune is one of my favorite actors, and so Akira Kurosawa. Those are great movies.
Right, and even some of the modern Japanese humor is really good. I mean, I watch a lot of like foreign films and stuff. Japan can do it with movie making.
Yeah, I need to watch more Japanese films.
Well, this guy can fucking speak it, so he doesn't have to read the subtitles and shit. So that's not fair.
He actually lives in Japan. I mean, I'm beginning to doubt everything about him. It's just like I don't think records.
You think he's just in a house in Providence or something like that, pretending that all this?
I think it's all AI. All deep,
right. Green screen.
All deep fakes, man. All deep fakes. It's like you go and it's like if you actually went there, it'd be like you go there and it's like it's a noodle shop and they say I got no idea what you're talking about, man.
Go to McDonald's. I'll take it to Kentucky Fried Chicken, Dunkin' Donuts. You have all that here.
That's my second shocking truth about the Notorious Ricefield Records, revealed at last.
That he's not in Japan. He's actually in Rhode Island, somewhere off freaking Kennedy Plaza, and he's using a green screen.
He listens to nothing but 8-bit MP3s.
He has sold all his vinyl stuff, and he's just doing it for street cred. That's another truth.
That's absolutely right. Those aren't real records up there.
No, they are. So, since we last spoke, you ever seen this? Yeah, actually, you would like her very much.
Yeah?
Sweet Linda Devine.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of her. Yeah.
She looks awesome.
One record only.
Yep.
And when I was in the store, when I saw this, I scarfed it up.
Oh, there you go. Of course. Nope.
And he was really
she ought to have a big voice, and that ought to be fun music.
Great. Yeah, you'd like this. You should definitely check her out. I don't know if you can find it. What's the matter? What are you looking at your watch for?
I was looking about. I got a text. It was just.
Oh,
he's fancy pants here. He's got one of those nice watches.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of thankful for that. That's how I learned I was sick.
Really?
Yeah, my watch. This was quite 2 years ago. My watch started. I started getting these low heart rate alerts on my watch, and I ignored it for a time. And then one of my bevy of ex-wives, I mentioned it to her on Facebook, and I'd had like 4 low heart rate alerts that day. And she said, she looked it up and she said, Dan, that can be very dangerous. You should go in. So I called the triage and triage nurse. They said, go in. So they said, don't drive in. Go, get the ambulance out. I drove in, of course, and hard headed. But the watch told me that the watch was. I wasn't actually having a low heart rate, but it wasn't picking up my heartbeats because of the premature ventricular contractions. It was. Yeah, for a while I tried to take my blood pressure with a cuff, and it couldn't do it because it couldn't pick up my heart rate.
Wow.
It's like
how much? So you're not putting in many hours a week. How much?
I'm putting maybe 10 to 20 a week.
Wow. Part time. Wow.
Yeah, very much part time. Yeah. And even like, yesterday I got up and it was, it's fairly light right now, and I got up and I couldn't concentrate. The chest pain just ruins my concentration. So when I have it, it's
right.
It's just like
wow.
Yeah. So anyway, as if I had any concentration.
Yeah, we fly off topic like no other live stream.
Yes.
Sweet Linda Divine, is that it?
I did pick, Sweet Linda Divine, self-titled. And I did finally find this. This is Genya Ravan. You ever hear Genya Ravan sing? She's a powerhouse, absolute powerhouse.
I like the cover. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
10-wheel drive with
Genya Ravan.
I've never heard of her. 10-wheel drive with Genya Ravan.
But you want to if you get any record by them, you want to get this one. You want to get this
fucking love records. 10-wheel drive, huh?
Brief replies.
That's cool. All right, I'll look up that one.
Powerhouse singer. If you like powerhouse singers, you will just adore her.
Thinking of powerhouse singers and books, the great Nico Case, whom I adore, has an autobiography coming out on the 28th. So she's a great powerhouse singer. So Bobby, you got anything?
No, I mean I got a few things. I mean, like I said, I have not been shopping a lot. I don't know if you've heard of her, Denise Williams.
Oh yeah,
This
is a disco singer. Just I've got what was her big hit?
Free.
Yeah,
Free was her big hit, and this is Nisi. That's the name of the album.
Yeah, I remember that.
She's got a sweet voice. It's not as high as Minnie Riperton, but it's in like a similar ballpark. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the music it's great. It's 70s. The Rhodes piano. All the little what's it called? The freaking violins and the instruments in the background. I mean, it's great. It definitely should be freaking checked out.
Man, and sometimes I hear Fender Rhodes.
I found this. Do you know her, Irma Thomas?
Yeah, she's great.
I don't have any of her records though.
I listen to her, but I don't have any LPs.
Okay, In Between Tears, great track.
That's a Japanese pressing?
No, Charlie Records, London. There's so many fine pressings here. It's unbelievable.
Oh, Charlie Records?
Yeah.
Man. They put out some great stuff. I have a Muddy Waters. My first Muddy Waters album that I bought was a 2 LP set by Charlie. The early stuff after the Stovall Plantation recordings, and it's a great album. And it's got some stuff I never find anyplace else.
Yeah,
they did some great stuff. the pressings weren't always good. But
Have you guys ever listened to a band called? I mean, they're like old now, but they're pretty decent. I've seen them live a bunch of times. I saw them live last year. Have you ever heard of a band called Incubus?
I know the name.
Brendan Boyd or whatever. This is like one of their albums you see in the stores all the time. This one, I mean, these guys are like hard rock, but they have like a turntable and they make like, like space sounds and stuff. But the guitar player in it's really good, and the lead singer comes out with some great stuff. It's it all has like a certain type of like laid back type vibe, but it's freaking great. I mean, this album, Make Yourself, and this album, Morning View, these two, they're great records. I mean, they're a great band. They are. I mean, and they're not just, how you see some bands like you like their song on the radio and then you go to see them in concert and they suck because they can't sing live or they can't, play. These guys are freaking awesome. I mean, they sit on the couch and they did like an acoustic session of all their music and it was phenomenal. They're a good band. I mean, they're definitely worth checking out. I mean, if you guys haven't heard of them, I mean, some of their hits you may recognize on the radio, but
Yeah.
they're both those albums you can put them on and play and they're all good songs. It can be depressing, but some of the best music is depressing that pulls on your heartstrings. You know what I mean?
Oh, I have my one Apple playlist called Dan's Favorite Sad Songs, which is
right.
hundreds of weepers,
Yeah. I also picked up a freaking Patti Page Greatest Hits because I like that. What's that? The old Cape Cod song that she does. Do you know who she is?
I know who she is. Yeah. She was, I've got one album by her. Great voice.
Yeah.
Tennessee Waltz was her huge hit.
Yeah. I got that. Yeah, I got the Greatest Hits with Tennessee Waltz, Old Cape Cod. She's good.
With my dog, that song.
Yeah.
With a Tennessee, when I happen to see. Yeah.
You see, this is what you have to be. You have to listen to fucking everything. You can't have like a genre and that's all you listen to. You know what I mean? You got to be all over the fucking place.
Yeah. So didn't she do? And this shows up in the Dylan movie. How much is that doggy in the window? Did she do that? She did some real lightweight stuff that got her.
Oh yeah, she did. She did a lot of stuff that's bad too. Hold on, I'm gonna look at the Greatest Hits.
Yeah, but she had a fabulous voice, and she was also a very beautiful woman.
It was Patti Page.
Yeah. She's a very beautiful woman and had a beautiful voice. There's a great YouTube video of her performing Tennessee Waltz that's worth seeing. That one is interesting because it was a very early double tracked vocal. I've lost them. Yeah, Wyoming Dave, you're absolutely right.
God damn it. Zeppelin.
Yeah, Patty Page was, and Wyoming Dave, I know you buy a lot of that stuff, so I'm sure you probably have some Patty Page around. You pick up some interesting stuff. So
yeah. It's tough to freaking. I can't fucking find her, but I mean, I have it. She you're right. She does a lot of like shit that's
almost novelty numbers, right?
Right. They're just, but she has a good voice.
Yeah, she had a good voice. She knew when she had any material to work with, she was great. A little bit. I mean, some people might not like me saying this, but.
Yes.
Karen Carpenter had a great voice and not great material.
Right. I do not like the Carpenters. I can honestly say I don't want. I mean, I might have a Christmas thing, but I don't have one Carpenters album.
I have one that I don't listen to, even though I adore her voice. But she had like Superstar, and Superstar was great.
But she didn't write it.
She didn't write it. She didn't write anything, I don't think. But had someone gotten her away from her brother and said, "Hey, we're going to have you do some more serious songs, and do some stuff that's less fluffy, less bubblegum," I think it would have been great. And
Superstar was about a groupie.
Yeah, it's about a groupie. Yeah.
So somehow Karen Carpenter singing about a groupie is just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and see, that's sad too, because you have somebody with a good voice, but she gets typecasted as doing shit music. You know what I mean? Shit that like.
Yeah.
Who listens to Karen Carpenter? Who likes the Carpenters? It's like your parents. You know, not even mine. Yours.
Well, I will defend Karen Carpenter to death. She had one of the great voices, but and some, you know, I count her up there with Patsy Cline and Linda Ronstadt, Aretha Franklin in terms of great voices. But she's.
I think Aretha's good, but she's overrated.
I agree that Aretha's overrated, and people will disagree about this. Aretha Franklin had to use melisma and all the tricks. She had to do what? She had to do all the sliding and all the coloration and everything.
Yeah, with her voice. I mean, she just didn't have as powerful a voice as most people think.
And if you go listen to, I think Patsy Cline is the one to listen to for that. You listen to the way Patsy Cline takes one note and works that goddamn note, and without moving off the melody. See, this is the other thing. This is the other truth about Ricefield Records.
Yeah, Patsy Cline didn't record rock steady. There's nothing in Patty Cline's oeuvre that is anywhere near the power of like rock steady. You know, you don't want to get up and dance when Patty, whatever her name is.
Patsy Cline.
No, you don't. You want to get drunk and freaking drink a bottle of bourbon when you listen to that shit.
Remove ban. I'm gonna call the Providence police on him. The Rhode Island State Police coming after him. He's blasphemy. Yeah. Cast out.
How can you compare those two? Sorry.
Patsy Cline's. I think Patsy Cline had a much better voice, and she was much better. Her voice.
They're apples and oranges, though. Yeah, but
I don't know. And I think Linda Ronstadt was just amazing. The more I listen to her, I've been listening to her a lot.
I do too. I got a record right here. I just was listening to it the other day.
I've got Heart Like a Wheel sitting out right now. You know, it's like
she's great too, and she's a beautiful girl, beautiful voice.
Yeah, man. I was watching an appreciation video of her by one of these vocal coaches who does these people who do these appreciation videos. Mm-hmm. And this gal is out of an opera background. She grew up singing opera and sang opera, and got into doing this appreciation stuff. So she comes on and says, "Well, I knew Linda Ronstadt for the Gilbert and Sullivan Pirates of Penzance," and she was like, "I didn't know that she was a rock singer." And I was like, yeah. but she really loves great. Linda Ronstadt had great accuracy, great technique, and also power, and knew how to phrase. She's the whole damn thing, man. So she's one of the. I think I have because I think that I think Patsy Cline's phrasing was so brilliant that it's hard to beat her. But Linda Ronstadt, man, and she took on Roy Orbison, with Blue Bayou.
Yeah, she did. But Linda Ronstadt did. She went all over the map as far as genre goes. I mean, a lot of the stuff she did, like the show tunes and jazz, those 3 records that she did. Yeah, they were great. She knocked them, like I said, out of the park. And then she even did her freaking 80s like dance things or whatever, and they were great. I mean, yeah.
She did the Mexican or the kind of the border songs, Canciones de mi Padres, and knocked it out of the park.
It's sad too because you see those Lindsay Ronstadt records in on the floors of every record store, and people just go by them and they're like, "Oh, that's grandma music," or "That's it's no good," and
Yeah.
it's not bad. But see, that's why like certain records, if you constantly keep seeing, you're like, okay, everybody was buying this or nobody was buying it. You got to give it at least a chance, and then if you don't like it, drop it off at Goodwill or sell it.
Let me ask you guys, George Benson.
I have a bunch of his shit. Bad King is a freaking decent record. Some of his stuff that was on what's it called? CTI was pretty damn good. His Breezin', that's
that's one you find everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Well, he was defined by Breezin'.
Yes.
And he got too much airplay, and everybody grew tired of him, and they forgot about him.
Right, but see, that's about as far as I go. Actually, that's almost too far for liking for that type of jazz. The smooth jazz, I guess they call it contemporary. But yeah, I mean, Benson is talented as hell. He's a great guitar player, and you're right. Breezin' made him famous, but it also ruined him.
Boz Scaggs, Slow Degrees.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way.
Silk Degrees, yeah.
Well, that's one where he's on the park bench, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, every track on that record is great, but I have a lot of memories from that record.
It's a great record, but it's like you find copies of that everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, because it was sold like crazy. Everybody bought it. You find copies of it like everywhere because the market was saturated with it, and those people died. And now it's in the used bins.
Now it's in the bins. And the first Ricky Lee Jones album, self-titled Ricky Lee Jones album, you find, and that's another great album. And
that's a phenomenal sounding record. Also, I mean, the engineers knew what the hell they were doing when they recorded it. Mic placement, everything. That album sounds great.
Absolutely, that is. I have 3 or 4 copies of it because if I see it in good condition, I just buy the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
because I'm like I'll see if this sounds better than one of my other ones. But that's those first 2 albums I think are just phenomenal.
Do you guys like Joni Mitchell's Court and Spark?
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah,
that's when she tried to go jazz.
I don't much like Joni Mitchell.
I don't much like her either, but she has a few songs on every record that are worth having. This album isn't fucking bad, man, because they had I forget what band, like some jazz band they had playing all the stuff on it, and it's got that, type of vibe to it. Her voice can get really annoying, so she needs to be taken in small doses. I'm not like in love with her, but she has 3 or 4 songs that are worth listening.
Yeah.
I thought Hey Gyro was when she went jazz. I didn't realize Court and Spark.
Gyro, yeah, Court and Spark is the first. What the fuck is this? The name of the band or whatever that it was on. I'm trying to see. It's freaking no, but like she had the band for 2 records. 2 records. Yeah, Joe Sample was on her the piano. He was with Crusaders and stuff. Who else is on there? Oh shit, Robbie Robertson's even on this record. But they should name the damn band that was on this thing. It's God damn it. They're not saying the band. I'll have to look it up on my phone. But yeah, Hero, I think that's what you're calling is that's the second album with them.
Yeah, I have this. This is the only Crusaders record I have.
Yeah, the Crusaders are good. They're phenomenal. Joe Sample, who he is, obviously. He plays electric piano on a lot of those records. What the hell is that group's name? Maybe you guys have heard of it. Them Mitchell. Okay, jazz elements.
I always thought that Joni Mitchell was too mannered. I thought her vocals were too mannered.
I heard that she freaking popped around and like just about every like guy that was famous had a shot at her.
Really?
Yeah. You guys you never heard that about her?
No.
I haven't. I just never paid much attention to her because I was just like, in the 70s, I'd hear it in the 70s, and I just thought her, I thought her voice was too mannered. I just thought it was too, it's like, just
okay. LA Express is the jazz band that's on.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a ton of stuff back in the.
You know LA Express? Yeah.
I don't.
I used to see the stuff around, right?
Right. Yeah. They suck. But they're good jazz musicians. Their music isn't gonna, sell or be famous, but they're talented jazz musicians.
Yeah, and didn't they back up just like a whole bunch of people though too?
Yep, they were like a session band before they got famous and started making them. They had one record that was supposed to be, worth its salt, but if I listen to jazz, I don't really consider that. They're more like I said, on the label of contemporary stuff, too damn freaking smooth for my liking. Yeah, you guys aren't Joni Mitchell fans, huh? At all? You don't have Blue?
I don't have anything more.
I have Blue. I got Blue in a big stack of records that I got from a friend a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't listened to it. On the other hand, I got a bunch of Carly Simon in there too, and I've only listened to a couple of those. And I like Carly Simon's voice a lot better. And some of her covers are like.
Well,
man.
Carmen Silent was gorgeous. You know what I mean? And she could play piano. You know what I mean?
Smoking, man. She was smoking. she could look.
Shit, wasn't she close to like 6 feet tall too? I mean, she was. Yeah, right. She's really tall, isn't she?
I don't know. I just knew she was. She's a fine looking woman.
Yeah, that's the girl that dated Beatty, right?
Yeah, that's right.
With Carly Simon, she was James Taylor and Warren Beatty.
James Taylor.
Yeah. Carly Simon's 5'11", 5'10". Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she a real good looking woman. Actually looks a little bit like the most recent of my ex-wives. So
yeah, but I mean, she's got like a certain type style. I guess you could call them toothy broads. Like Hilary Swank. You know who Hilary Swank is, right? Yeah, that. Yeah, she's gorgeous, but that's like that they're toothy. They have big smiles.
I'm a sucker for things like that.
Those are the best. I mean, great women.
I'm a sucker for it, right? So. But Carly Simon was gorgeous, but I like her. She had some really good stuff. She actually did, and I liked her vocals, and she had some good stuff. But I got a bunch of albums by her in that set, and I haven't listened to all of them because a lot of albums by a lot of people will have a couple of good things on them, and I get tired.
A lot of filter on her albums, but she does have at least one or two good songs. Her stuff as she gets into the 80s, the late 80s is not to my liking, but she's still a phenomenal artist.
Yeah, I don't know if she's still performing. I mean, she's got to be late.
Not.
She's not.
Yeah,
No.
She's stay at home. I think I read. There was a recent interview with her. She doesn't record, doesn't do anything in the music industry. She's just a bit of a shut-in.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Linda Ronstadt is, of course, but because of the Parkinson's.
Right.
Or I'm not sure if it's Parkinson's or Parkinsonism. But
I don't know. Joni Mitchell's kind of waif-like. When she gets up really into the high registers, I don't know what it is. I won't pull her out and play her as I would a Laura Nyro or a Powerhouse. Right. That's
you're exactly right. And she needs small doses. You can listen to one song and actually midway through the song, you're fucking burned out on her voice. It's tough. There are people that are like that. I feel, okay, this is going to piss a lot of people off, but I feel that way about Led Zeppelin and Robert Plant. supposedly a great band, but
let me see if I'm pissed off. No.
I'm actually I'm learning to like them more and more recently. I find myself
Zeppelin?
Yeah.
They have talented musicians. They got great. Jimmy Page is fucking awesome. I mean, they're a great band. Robert Plant is just like I said, he's another one. Small doses.
As a male singer, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Though it's in here.
Yeah. Great male vocalist. Yeah, I also don't like what he did with what's her name, Alison Krauss.
Yeah,
I was just trying to find that because I was going to say I actually like that.
You did like the Alison Krauss and Robert Plant?
I did, but I love Alison Krauss. Alison Krauss.
I love Alison Krauss. She's got a beautiful voice.
Yeah, another gorgeous woman too. She's a beautiful woman. But yeah, Alison Krauss has a great voice. Iris DeMent is somebody I need to get on some vinyl. Iris DeMent grew up near where I did.
DeMent.
Huh?
DeMent.
Iris DeMent, yeah.
Yeah.
And she just sounds like home to me. And I ought to get some of her stuff on vinyl. Talk about that. She had kind of rough life. Sheryl Crow is from near where I grew up. She's the only famous person from around there, as far as I can tell, outside of Rush Limbaugh, who's dead.
You like Sheryl Crow?
He loves Sheryl Crow.
I like Sheryl Crow. Yeah, I think Sheryl Crow was excellent.
I think she had 2 albums that I loved to death.
Yeah, I think the first couple of albums were awesome.
Yeah, what is it called? It's Tuesday Night, My Music Factory, or something. What was it called?
I can't remember the names of them. I've got them on
something
CD.
It's something like that, right?
Yeah, I've got them on CD. I've never bought them on.
The one that has All I Want to Do and the one that has Are You Strong Enough?
Yeah, those are. She had a great voice.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's performing still, but a great voice, and she did some great music. Got a lot of hate for some reason. I don't understand it. She was.
Well, there's a lot of people hating on America these days, and she's American. She that's who she is. She's a true blue-eyed American. That's her through and through. Surfer girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, she was born down where I was born, so
right.
So she's right from that area. She's from there, and Iris DeMent is from there, and I can hear it in their voices.
Well, right. I mean, like, okay, do you guys ever listen to Lana Del Rey?
I think Lana Del Rey has a great fucking voice and does great music. I don't like everything, but she has a great voice, and the stuff is strong, and she gets a ton of hate.
Yes, she does, but her music is great. But see, this is like how we always had the conversation before. Sometimes you got to separate the art from the artist. You know what I mean?
And I think some of her songs are just excellent.
Yeah, some of her songs is great. She has a wonderful voice, and some of her songwriting is just wonderful. I mean, I love her.
And she gets a ton of hate.
Yeah,
Billie Eilish has a great voice, and she has some. I bought that first album, and I'm like, that's a hell of an album.
Yeah, did you listen to her latest one? The one where she has this song on it that's fucking awesome.
I've been meaning to pick that up because
you got to pick it up. There is this song on there that she does in the perspective of her stalker, like somebody that's stalking her, and it's just awesome. And it's like, she's singing about the stalker's feelings and not hers from her side. I mean, it's great.
I got to get that because I've heard that's. I've heard that's great.
I like her. Her and her brother Phineas, they do great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah. But there's someone who's great. Who's the gal? Katy Perry. She actually, although it's hard to tell anymore whether she's singing, she had a few songs where you can say she has a good voice. I wish her shit wasn't so overproduced.
Right.
It's exact same birthday as my oldest child, my daughter.
Really? Child.
Well, I learned that. I called up Emily and said, "Hey, you and Katy Perry have the same birthday," and she's like, "Thanks for reminding me, Dad."
She's not a Katy Perry fan, huh?
No, Emily grew up, and she grew up in the Northwest in the 80s and 90s, right? So she's a big freaking grunge fan.
Well, right, but she may just also be an example. There are so many girls out there that got great voices, but they're doing shitty music. Like, okay, you remember Christina Aguilera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Great.
Great,
You're right. Christina Aguilera has a great freaking voice.
right, but her
She
music sucks.
so badly. And it's like God, a beautiful gal with a great voice.
Right.
And could somebody give her some decent goddamn
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus?
Uh,
Miley Cyrus has a great voice. It's the worst goddamn music in the world. She covers a Dylan song, and I can't remember which one it is, but she covers a Dylan song. That's like, God damn, that's great. Could you just fucking get rid of all this other shit you do, and just do some good, straightforward, rock Americana stuff like that, and get rid of all this other stuff because she's got a great voice. It's just like a freaking shame. It's amazing. A lot of them do, and then they get this crappy, they do this crappy music,
Well,
So,
I mean, after all, it is a business, but they're trying to ride out certain trends or certain waves of music that's popular at the time, and it ends up being just bad, not particularly special or in any way, shape, or form. But that it's just put out because okay, this is the name of the artist. Let's make as much off of her as we can. Who gives a shit about the quality of the music?
really, they just freaking drain them. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a name out there. Not somebody you think has a great voice,
Right.
but Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I think she just had an okay voice, right? And she could be taught to dance.
Yeah.
But good Lord, she was just a joke to me for a long time until lawyer I started reading about the conservatorship and everything, and my heart broke for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just, I don't say whatever the hell you want about her talent and about the music that she put out. She was freaking used and abused.
Yep.
And then
They turned her out. Yeah.
Then they drained her and tossed away the husk. And I feel sorry for the gal.
Yeah, I mean, and she obviously has mental problems and stuff now that, but who knows how much of that was exacerbated by the shit that she had to go through.
I don't know. It is, I think it's again, without, I wouldn't defend the music.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, the music is not great. It's teeny bopper shit.
Yeah. But
oops, I did it again. Hit me, baby, one more time.
I mean, I was always kind of pissed off about because there's obviously a pedophilia angle going on there.
There is. Yeah. That's Hollywood for you.
Yeah, it just really high, pedophile content on those covers and everything. It's like, man,
she's the same exact age as me. I remember when it came out in high school and stuff. When she was 16, they had her in mini skirts and stuff, bending down on the screen to show us
and everything. And it's like it was really blatant and horrible. But just drain, we'll use her and then we'll throw her away. She's not.
Yep, and then we'll make fun of her on news, and everywhere.
Yeah, it's sad, and it's sad. But there are some great. There are people with great voices out there who are doing really crappy stuff. But, it's like, okay, well, they're getting rich off of it. So,
yeah, I mean, and Britney was making shit great, money, that's for sure.
Made a ton of money.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think she has a really good voice. In fact, I'd argue that she isn't a very particularly good singer. But
I'm pretty sure she was pitch corrected a whole bunch. There's a channel I like to watch. A guy named a guy's channel is Wings of Pegasus, Phil Fil Wings of Pegasus, who does these reviews of performances, typically live performances.
Yeah,
he uses vocal isolation software and pitch monitoring software, and he's been going through showing just everybody using either pitch correction or auto tune on stuff, and it's just all over the place now, and he's really disgusted by it. I like watching it. He loves like Linda Ronstadt and Karen Carpenter and people like that, Aretha Franklin. He loves Aretha, you know, but he loves Julie Andrews, who, you know, he's like,
she was beautiful in her day. In the 50s and 60s, she was a beautiful woman. Julie Andrews.
Beautiful woman and had a beautiful, beautiful voice. Again, not material that I much cared for.
Mary Poppins, back when she was in that, Jesus, she was smoking. I mean, people, you say that, they'll be like, Julie Andrews? Back then? Hell yeah.
She was really good. Well, Doris Day was a goddamn good-looking woman.
Oh, my God. I had a crush on her when I was a little kid. I watched Send Me No Flowers, Pillow Talk. I watched all that shit.
Yeah.
I loved Doris Day.
She was, you know, America's oldest virgin for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the great line back. One guy said, I'm so old, I knew Doris Day before she was a virgin.
Yeah, but some of Doris Day's show tunes aren't bad either. I mean, she's pretty good.
Yeah, it keeps. But yeah, the Doris Day. Yeah, Doris Day could sing very well. Of course, you know, she started out as a dancer, and then broke a leg in an accident and moved into singing. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about, like, when you talk about the actresses and the actors of the olden days, all of them were the triple threat: the sing, dance, and act.
That's
know?
Right. They could all do that, and that's why you get, like, you know, and later on, I mean, it was still that way. I mean, Gene Wilder was, you know, could do all those, but Hugh Laurie, I don't know if he's a dancer. But, you know, he's an excellent vocalist.
Really?
And
I didn't know this.
I didn't know that. The guy
Laurie,
from House.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie's an excellent vocalist and put out an album of blues stuff that's quite credible. It's like his blues. He did a blues covers. He bugs me because he's doing vocal blackface or minstrelsy. You know, he's Brit. You know, so. He's clearly not singing the blues with his original accent, whatever it was. I don't know, but Hugh Laurie is a great vocalist. Yeah, he also wrote a novel that's really great and funny. So I hate him. He's like a talent man. He's good. Well, guys, it's been an hour, and as you know, I don't like live streams that go on too long.
Yes.
But, we've revealed some shocking truths about Ricefield Records.
It's true.
Yeah.
I go into stores and I walk out empty-handed.
Yeah, and
he lives in Providence. He's not in Japan.
Lives in Providence.
He doesn't speak Japanese. He uses AI.
Yeah.
That's another one.
And his favorite music group is Criss Cross.
Yes.
Actually, he has the world's largest collection of Shags memorabilia. That's
Shags. Which Shags? Oh,
Shag rugs?
The Shags. Yeah. SHAGGS. Yeah. The Shags. Yeah. There's got to be somebody out there who has a collection of Shags memorabilia. It's just there must be.
But who would it be?
You know, they had some live performances.
Really?
Yeah. They
recorded?
I'm sorry?
Were they recorded?
Not that I know of, but they were. I think that I don't know how the tapes didn't melt down anyway. But you know, can you imagine Frank Zappa said they were the greatest band of all time, right? So they're better.
Well, that's shock value.
Yeah, well, it's Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa was a freaking another one. I mean, Frank Zappa could have made good music, could have done stuff, but he just focused on his comedy, you know. And there are people that love a lot of Zappa. I like Zappa. I think he's a great guitar player. You know what I mean? I think he could have done more with his career.
Yeah, I'm obviously like contrarians, but you know, at some point, you know, you go from being just a contrarian into something else, and he went.
Yeah,
was like
that the stuff that he wrote that got him famous or you know, consumer friendly was so shitty, like "Shake Your Booty" and "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow."
Yeah,
you know,
Dynamo Hum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I know there are just people who who can't quite be serious. You know, I might be one of them. You know, but Zappa, I don't know. I went over to college and went over to a friend's house, and he later hooked up with one of my exes.
Oh,
poor guy. No,
that happens.
no, he was. But he had weasels ripped my flesh and put it on for me, and I was already deeply into the blues, and I started listening to it. I was like, oh man. I was like, this is good. And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, I think he was permanently stoned already though. So.
Who?
My friend.
Oh, not Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa was.
He smoked a lot. He smoked a lot of dope. He smoked a lot of dope. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I'm glad that we've revealed some truths about Risefield Records, and
I feel so much better.
Yeah, well, let's get it off your chest, Michael. Get it off your chest. Let it get out there. You know, stop living the lie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We'll do it again sometime.
Well, good seeing you guys, man. Stay in touch.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye now.